I thought the guys played a very tough-minded, determined basketball game. You could see, you know, they're flying around on the defensive end, making it difficult for Wisconsin, giving up their body on the glass, rebounding well, and played with good pace on offense, too. I was really proud of them.
Questions? Start back here on the left.
For Siobhan and Benny, just the defensive intensity from the start of the game on through, how big of a difference did that make?
Benny, start with you, please.
It made a big difference because it was just showed that we was the aggressor on both ends of the floor, and that really led to scoring and getting out in transition, which we like to do.
Siobhan, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, that was the difference. If we don't play defense, we don't win games. So.
Over here on the right.
Siobhan, the first time you played these guys, you didn't play. You got beat by 11 points. Just talk about the difference you think you made in the game tonight.
I mean, I like to think I'm a captain of this team, and me and Benny did a good job of leading tonight, and I felt like I added a different element to the game, which allowed us to win.
Right out in the middle.
For both of you guys, knowing that you probably have to win this tournament to get to the NCAA tournament, how much does it mean as seniors to keep this run going?
Benny, start with you.
It means a lot. Every game, coach makes sure that we know that this could be our last game, so we just going with the mentality and just doing whatever it takes to get a win, to keep playing.
Siobhan?
I mean, I second that.
Down here in front.
Siobhan, given that you didn't play in the first game, can you just describe what the feeling was like knowing that sort of late in the game that you guys had done enough to secure a win and extend your college career at least for one more day?
I mean, it was awesome. You know, I don't really have words to describe it, but I'm just happy we get a chance to keep playing and get a shot at Maryland tomorrow.
Back in the back again.
For both of you guys, looking ahead to tomorrow, will be your third game in 3 days and following up on a pretty big grind today. Any concern at all about being able to match the energy that you had tonight?
Siobhan, start with you this time.
I mean, I think we just got to compete, and if we're playing hard and just worried about what we need to do on offense and defense and just thinking about that, I don't think our fatigue or anything will set in.
Benny?
Coach been saying that we're not allowed to be tired at this time, so we just really just grinding it out because that's what it's going to take.
Take one or two more. Back on the back again.
Benny, I assume 3 games in 3 days beats getting on an airplane, doesn't it?
Easily. I'd take that any day.
You guys, the way you jumped out on them physically and attacked them defensively, did you see them back up a little bit or get tentative?
Benny, go ahead.
Yeah, you can tell that we kind of took them out of their offense, and that was really the game plan from the get-go. Like, one of our main keys was ball pressure, so that was something that the guards really just focused on.
Last one for these student-athletes right down here in front.
This is for both of you guys. I think if you look at the stat sheet, you guys held Nigel Hayes under his season average, kept him to a low shooting percentage. What worked for you guys on defense, in particular containing him?
Siobhan, start with you.
You know, we really talked about getting the fronts because he's a good post player. So I think Jack McVay came in the first half when me and Drew got fouls and gave us great minutes. I don't think he scored on him in the first half. And, you know, you got to pat Jack on the back for giving us big minutes and giving us that lift. And, you know, team defense of everybody rotating and doubling and everybody being locked in. I think that's what kind of took him out of his rhythm and took him off his game.
Benny, want to add anything?
No, that's pretty much it.
Thanks, fellas. You may return to the locker room. Good luck tomorrow. Take questions.
Does anyone want to ask about that lame duck pass that Shields threw? No one? No one? You could tell his dad played guard. There it is.
Out in front.
You guys made a pretty conscious decision at the beginning of the game, and certainly throughout most of it, to double down on Ethan Happ every time he touched the ball. What was working on the rest of the court when you guys were doubling on him that kept everyone else from shooting the ball well?
I think that, you know, we worked hard at our rotations, knowing, you know, Greg does a good job of spacing and making sure that when you leave a guy, he's probably an excellent shooter like Bronson. So we have to get somebody to cover that ball side guy, and then how to get out of that trap too. So we got out early, and the kids just worked hard at it. You could see that, I mean, they were moving fast, and they were all moving together. That helped a lot because you have to get to Ethan and make it as hard as possible on him.
Out here on the right.
Tim, what'd you do differently in the second half on Brown after the 13 points and the 3-for-3 shooting from three-point range? Did you do different things on him, or?
He got 2 on the same play, so we just stayed attached on the roll replace action, you know, where they'd go screen roll and then lift him. And so we had to help all the way from the corner then. And we hadn't done that. But I thought, you know, especially Andrew White did a really nice job on him. You got to play him like a guard right now.
Over here on the left in the back.
Tim, just from an effort and energy, intensity standpoint, I guess where would you rank this game, especially considering it was second game in a row?
Well, I literally, and you know, this, I'm not trying to glamorize, you know, March basketball, but I was so proud of these guys. I looked at the clock with 35 seconds left and got chills. I could feel goosebumps on my legs. Because I was just so happy for these guys. I saw just extreme joy, you know, tough-minded group playing together, finding a way to, you know, beating a ranked opponent. And I was just so happy for them. And that's, you know, kind of the essence of what we're supposed to do. So whatever that describes, that's what it was.
On the right.
Coach, you've talked about getting that third scorer. Maybe it would be a combination of Webster, Parker, and Glenn. Tonight, Glenn and Benny had 14, I think the last 14 points. Can you speak to the point guard's effort tonight?
Yeah, they were terrific, and they were terrific defensively. I can't think how many balls they deflected, and I was surprised they only had 4 steals between the 2 of them. I thought they'd have more than that, but so they did it on both ends. And then, of course, when you're going to get pressed and fouled, you got to be able to make your free throws. And they did a really nice job. And Glenn made some big baskets. Benny had a huge transition basket. And then they made it really tough for Bronson and those other guards all night, too. Showalter didn't hurt us. Hill, I don't think he hurt us either, coming off the bench. So their defensive effort really matched what they were able to do to end the game. And that was great. We need him. You know, Ty's an X factor with us, but he played so good defensively. I think that got lost in some things, too. He spent a lot of energy, you know, tonight. And I kept asking him, you want to come out? No. And took him out, and then things went wrong. Had to get him back in. So, of course, that's the way it works.
Stay on the right.
Tim, can you talk about the difference that Siobhan made tonight? And he didn't play the first time. Obviously, it's a big difference.
Well, there's no doubt Siobhan is a difference maker in our program, not only on the floor, but off the floor, too, if you just look at his accolades. And so his leadership, his presence really matters to the guys. And, you know, he and Benny sometimes get a little bit jumpy on me. They get so excited because they don't want it to end. And until Siobhan got bonked in the nose by Bronson, I don't, you know, then he finally kind of, his nose kind of puffed up a little bit. And maybe I should chill out a little bit, he says. And then he really played well after that. So, you know, he's an excellent player for us. You can see when he starts driving to the basket some, you know, I feel sorry for the guy trying to step in his way because he's a big physical guy going to the rim.
Take one last one here in the back.
Tim, was it kind of a hell or high water night going to the basket? Guys were going to go in there no matter what?
When we're good, I think it's hell or high water going to the basket for us. We only took 8 threes. Certainly, that's fine. You know, Andrew was in a lot of foul trouble, and you knew he wasn't going to have much rhythm, but he hit a big one in the second half for sure. Maybe 2 of them even, I think. No, he had 1 each half, I think. But you know, we thought if we could get, you know, when they started switching things and we had some funky matchups, if we could just space the floor and kind of go, you know, isolation basketball or playground basketball, you know, that we had an advantage. I thought that we had some quickness and some power that could get to the rim or get fouled. And to be able to shoot as many foul shots as Wisconsin at this point in the season when we're dead last and they're first, I thought that was as important a quality or important a key of the game as anything.